Good evening, Jesse. We are only on day 4 of this operation, and DHS says that it has already arrested more than 200 illegal immigrants, and the operation is getting a ton of support, as DHS says that many of these people have criminal backgrounds involving things like assault, gang affiliation, drunk driving, and more. But as you can see by this protest, there is also a lot of pushback towards this immigration crackdown. And I'll take a little walk to show our viewers a better look at this. But right now where we are has been sort of a hot spot for these protests. And that is because we are outside of a Latino bakery here in Charlotte that is temporarily closing. And that's because the owner says that ICE is targeting its customers. And we know that other businesses have closed as well. The school system here says 21,000 kids have been absent since this immigration crackdown, and the mayor says that people aren't showing up to their jobs, particularly in the housekeeping and construction industry. But we have seen a lot of people have some pretty tense reactions because of this. We've seen people who spot ICE agents cussing at them, yelling at them. We know that there has been 2 separate car ramming incidents just here in Charlotte alone, and that comes as DHS says that they have seen an unprecedented surge in car rammings towards CBP and ICE agents. But Homeland Security says it isn't slowing down. ICE agents were spotted in the Raleigh-Durham area today, and Louisiana's governor says New Orleans is next.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the ICE crackdown on illegal immigrants in Charlotte. And it seems as if Charlotte was just full of illegal immigrants, right? It seems as if Charlotte is an illegal immigrant city, which, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not surprised, okay? I'm just saying, based off some of the places that they're targeting, right, that ICE has been spotted at, yeah, I can tell you for certain that these are spots that I'm not surprised that they're targeted, okay? Let's just leave it at that, okay? I'm just saying. I know exactly why they're targeting the places that they're targeting. So what's happening is that you're having a mass evacuation of illegal immigrants. They're leaving Charlotte because mass arrests are being made, and the illegals are afraid, right? They're afraid to show up to work, which is why you have mass business closures that are currently happening, because you have illegals that are being employed. Maybe you have illegals running these businesses. Yeah, businesses are closing down because they are afraid.
Employment is also having an impact on business in Charlotte, especially in areas where operations have been happening. Compare Foods is offering free delivery for its customers who may not want to leave a home. And Queen City News, a crew visited one of the local supermarkets today and said the business looked almost empty. Queen City News reporter David Schumann takes a look at some of the businesses that are being lost right now as a result of the Border Patrol agents being in Charlotte.
Everybody's closed, nobody's working, everybody has called out for it, even the whole week. Everybody's in fear of what if.
Jorge Perez is trying to keep his tree trimming and remodeling jobs on schedule, but he says it's virtually impossible this week. The fear is too strong in Charlotte's Latino population, among both business owners and workers, even if they're here legally.
It is going to hurt us a lot as the city of Charlotte, the economy is going to hurt us.
Several immigrant-owned businesses have decided to close while Border Patrol is here, like this Mexican restaurant behind me in Northeast Charlotte. And even places that are open in this shopping center have told me there's been a lot less traffic because their customers who are immigrants are scared.
We have a general contracting, a flooring business, plumbing, AC, electrical.
Jad Tremmel is another Charlotte contractor who says his employees who are here legally aren't willing to work either. He says he's at risk of missing project deadlines, yet that's taking a back seat to his workers' well-being.
My heart broke for people that we know that work with us, and we have over 1,000 families that are impacted who have done the right thing but are not, don't have the confidence to go out because of just some of the way that things are happening.
Yeah, so let me just say this. First and foremost, it sounds like there are now a lot of job openings, right? There are a lot of job openings in Charlotte because if you are here legally, there's no reason why you should not come to work. There's no reason why you shouldn't open up your business if you are employing people who are here legally, right? The only reason why you would close down your business or you wouldn't show up to work, or we're going to talk about this too, your child wouldn't show up to school, is because they're here illegally, right? That's the only reason why. But regardless, like I said, sounds to me like a lot of job openings are happening in Charlotte. all of these people that claim that, they want opportunity, they want this and that. Hey, there you go. You better go get them. Okay, if you need a job in Charlotte right now, there's work, right? People are hiring, okay, because the illegals are fleeing. So, like I mentioned, this is also affecting schools as well, too. Again, this is insane, right? There are literally tens of thousands of students who have apparently gone missing, right? They are not showing up to school. They're not showing up to class out of fear of being deported, I guess.
Several schools walked out in protest of the Border Patrol deployment here in Charlotte. But an educator now tells us that's not the main reason classrooms are empty. Queen City News anchor Will Lewis spoke with the teacher who says the uptick in absences is a direct result of Operation Charlotte's Web.
David Gillespie says the last 24 hours have been tough.
I don't represent the CMS district nor my school.
But he's seen what 2 days of Customs and Border Patrol agents taking more than 130 people into custody.
I'm just sharing my opinion as a teacher in the Charlotte area.
Does to students.
My homeroom class typically has 16 students in it. We had 4.
District-wide, there are 145,030 students enrolled in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools. On Monday, 30,399 were absent, 28,136 unexcused. While CMS doesn't break down the numbers by ethnic origin, Gillespie, a multilingual teacher, did.
Children of parents from Angola, from Vietnam, but the students whose parents come from Latin American countries were the students we were missing.
Yeah, that is wild. Okay, you're talking about 30,000 students out of 145,000 total. You have 30,000 that say, hey, I'm just not going to show up to school today because they're afraid of being deported. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. But I think it really goes to show you just how much of our resources are being taken up by illegal immigrants. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real. These classrooms are being filled with students who possibly are not here legally. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of the students are here legally. Right? Or put it this way, some of them are probably anchor babies. Their parents are probably here illegally. Okay. But yeah, some of them are probably here illegally, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it's insane to think about. It's insane. Absolutely insane. All the resources that go into supporting illegal immigration. And you can see it because, again, you have businesses that are shutting down. You got job openings left and right. People not showing up to work. Students not going to school. I mean, look at this. Charlotte has 900,000 residents and more than 150,000 are foreign nationals, which comes out to roughly 1 out of 6 people. So 1 out of 6 people are foreign nationals in Charlotte. Insane. When a city carries numbers like that, it shows up everywhere. Uptown murders are up 200%. Aggravated assaults with knives or guns climbed from 86 to 111. Year over year. Strong arm robberies went from 26 to 31 in the same period. Families feel the strain in housing, in classrooms, and in basic public safety. That is the environment CBP walked into because the scale of the population shift and the rise in violent crime have outpaced what local agencies can handle on their own. A city cannot function when the pressure points stack up like this. Charlotte has to put the safety of its residents first, or the numbers will keep getting worse, no matter who pretends otherwise. Wow. Wow. Insane. Absolutely insane. The amount of resources going into supporting illegals, right? And foreigners. I mean, it's crazy. And this is on a mass scale. A mass scale. Now, again, I think the reason why this is happening, the same reason why it's happening in all of these blue cities, is because the Democrats in these cities refuse to cooperate with ICE and the Trump administration. And because they refuse to cooperate, this is what happens, right? You find out. And Charlotte is finding out. Raleigh's about to find out. And it's about time, right? It's about time. Greensboro need to find out too, right? Go ahead and get Greensboro too while you're here in North Carolina. ICE, please.
Federal agents' illegal immigration crackdown operation is seeing major success in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, we knew this early on. It started this weekend, and already they were making multiple arrests of the worst of the illegal aliens who are in this country. The Department of Homeland Security says in just the first few days it has already arrested 207 illegal aliens, which include known gang members and people who've committed crimes such as assault, and weapons possession. Despite getting those dangers off the streets, though, protesters are taunting federal agents, as they do often. Well, so far, as you can see in this video, it has not included the physicality that we have seen at some demonstrations where they've had to haul people off to jail. They were screaming profanities, which we're trying to bleep out as much as possible. Now, those federal agents are telling them to get out of Charlotte. That pushback is not deterring the Trump administration. Also, hearing it from Democrat politicians. Agents have already spread to Raleigh and could begin operations there. And now another city, a second city in North Carolina, as soon as today. Here is Border Czar Tom Homan.
Regardless of Republican or Democratic city, we're going to enforce our laws across this country and take those public safety threats off the street, Bill. But I'll say this, I've said it from day one. Sanctuary cities, we're flooding the zone because we know they're releasing public safety threats into communities every day. That's where the biggest problem is, and that's where we're sending the majority of the agents.
Madison Scarpino is in Charlotte. Madison.
Harris, there's a ton of support for this operation and protecting Americans, but there's also a lot of anger as the tension here grows by the day. We're currently outside of a local Latino bakery that the owner is temporarily closing because he claims ICE is targeting his customers. You can see this small group protesting right now, but take a look at what was going on here last night. A group of protesters gathering, chanting, waving flags and sign as a car is doing donuts in the middle of the street. And there are reports of other businesses closing along with the bakery. The hotel where we're staying at actually told everyone that there won't be housekeeping this week with people not showing up to work. And yesterday, Charlotte's mayor addressed all of this.
I know that people sometimes are not going to work. People are concerned, especially in our hospitality industry, inside our construction industry.
But we have seen some heated confrontations, people yelling, cussing at agents. Some of those incidents have turned dangerous. Border Patrol agents arresting this individual who allegedly jumped a curb and sped their car towards agents. DHS says they eventually rammed their car into those agents, and this is the second time something like this has happened in just the last few days. DHS actually just announcing there has been an unprecedented surge in car rammings against CBP and ICE. And DHS Secretary Kristi Noem says some of these people are trying to harm or even kill these immigration officers.
These law enforcement officers are in danger while they're out on our streets, making sure that our communities are safe again. And that's one of the things that we need to continue that they do. I hope the American people that have their backs make sure that their neighbors, their communities, and their leaders know that they have their backs and they support what they're doing.
And no word, Harris, on how long this operation here will last. Back to you.
Madison, thank you very much.
Hey, everyone.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. Again, sounds to me like a lot of job openings, right? Sounds to me like a lot of opportunity. It's funny because I recognize all those places, right? All of those places, those streets, I recognize all those streets. I'm like, yep, I understand why ICE is there, right? I 100% get it. South Boulevard, man, right? I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Raleigh's next, apparently. Okay, and the woke activists are already losing their minds over that. They need to go to Greensboro, right? Durham, right? Chapel Hill. they need to go to all those cities. They need to go to all of those cities, right? We need to have enforcement across the state, to be honest with you, right? Because I'm telling you, it's a problem. And I'm glad that the Trump administration, they're not just focusing on the blue states and blue cities. They're also focusing on red states as well, too. Okay, and mainly, again, blue cities in red states. But again, that's where the problem's at, right? Is in these blue cities. And we don't discriminate. So, you know, it is what it is. I just personally love the fact that this administration is not backing down. And this is something I'm going to warn you guys about as well, too. I want to make sure I say this. I have to make sure I say this in all these videos. A lot of Latino voters don't like this. I'm just going to be 100% honest with you. They don't like it. And That's what people got to understand, that going into the midterms, there are going to be Latinos, particularly liberal Latinos, that are going to be pissed off, and they're going to vote. They're going to vote. And we have to outvote those people because they're going to be motivated due to these mass deportations. A lot of people, when they voted for Trump, they didn't think that he was serious about the mass deportations. But they found out he wasn't effing around. So now they feel like things are going overboard because he's actually enforcing the law. So there's going to be a lot of backlash. We have to vote. We have to get out and to make sure that we show the president and Republicans that, hey, you're not going to lose because of this issue. This issue is not going to cause you to lose votes. So put it this way, we're going to reward you for doing what you promised that you was going to do. That's the only way that this keeps up. Again, we're already talking about, at least according to BS Now, over 500,000 deportations. And it's only been like 8-9 months. So you're talking about this administration being on track for 3, 4, 5 million deportations. And that's not even counting people who self-deported before the end of Trump's term. So if this pace keeps up, yeah, President Trump is going to do exactly what he promised that he was going to do. And we have to reward the president for doing it. That's just the reality of the situation because these people are going to vote, right? A lot of these people that are going to be upset, again, the liberal Hispanics, they're going to vote. They're going to get out in droves and vote because of this. Because a lot of them feel scared. They think they're going to be deported. I don't know why. If you're here legally, you're not going to be deported. If you got your papers straight, if you're supposed to be here, you're not going to be deported. But the fear is there, right? And that's the reality of the situation. And I think people need to understand that, yes, it is great seeing these mass deportations, but if we want to keep seeing them, if we want to continue the trajectory that we're on, right, we have net negative migration into the country for the first time in a long time. Net negative migration. We have to get out and vote to make sure that this continues and that the border stays closed. Because what happens in politics is that if the pendulum swings the other way, it's going to swing back hard. There will be no mass deportations anymore. In fact, if Democrats get back in power, they're not going to be deporting anybody. They're going to open the border wide open. Once again, they're going to flood the country with illegals. They're going to let all the hombres that got deported, they're going to let them right back into the country. They're going to say, well, you were done wrong. You were done wrong by the Trump administration. Therefore, you should be let back in. That's what they're going to do. So I just want to warn people about that. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.